Hello, everybody. Hey, ladies. How are you? Welcome to today's show. Let me know if you're here watching. Let me know who you are. Let me say hi to you. Today's show, it's going to be the title. It's going to be the one thing that you must do if you want to reverse your hypothyroidism and or Hashimoto's in a natural way, but more importantly than that, in a fast way, right? Because this is a very big conversation in today's world. Millions and millions of Americans, of women and men, but many millions of women are just suffering with this debilitating, completely debilitating chronic disease, because that's what it is. It's a chronic disease that just turns your life around. I mean, it's like upside down, not in a good way, in a horrible way. It affects, it just takes everything to another degree that is just very detrimental to someone's life, right? And the thing that I've realized with this is that because it's such a big problem in today's world, the biggest reason that women are not getting out of this is because they're just stuck. They're stuck feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and feeling all the symptoms that come along with that, right? That come along with hypothyroidism, that come along with Hashimoto's. And so it's a big conversation, and I'm here, as Diana Ross says, I'm going to come out so I can talk about it, because I don't think there's enough correct information of how to heal and reverse it in a way that is natural and that is fast, like fast. I stand for recovery can be quick so that you can go on with your life, right? And so let's talk about that one thing that you can do so that you can really take your level of health to the next level. I mean, so that you can live life. Send me some hearts. I'm seeing some people, some ladies send me some hearts along the way. If you're up for it, if you're having a great night, send me some hearts as I'm having this conversation. If you find it valuable, share it along to your friends, to any family member, to people who I'm sure you know many who have hypothyroidism or Hashimoto's. It's all over the place. Send them along, and let's have this conversation. My name is Maria Tobelen. I am known as the holistic thyroid and health transformation expert, and I've dedicated my entire career in the field of healing women from hypothyroidism. I'm going on my 13th year, 1-3, and the biggest reason why I've been in that field is because of my own story, right? So I'm not just somebody who knows how to work with women that have this. I mean, I've had this myself, and I've had it my entire life. And I think this is a very common story that you're going to hear, or that you can relate to, I should say, because it's like we've always known we've had some hormone issue, but it wasn't until years later until we got diagnosed, right? So I knew that I always had something my entire life. I knew there was something off. And I experienced all the symptoms of hypothyroidism. I mean, all of them. The fatigue, right? The sensation like you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh my God, turn over the alarm. Oh my, do I have to move? I just felt like a truck ran over my body. How on earth am I going to get up? Right? It's that sensation of exhaustion, of like, oh, I want to get up. My body can't. I just can't. It's literally, you feel like you're 500, 1,000 pounds, and your brain wants to get up, but you can't. Yeah, I got that. I experienced that. I experienced the hair loss, right? Like you going, kind of touching your hair, and you're like, oh, there's hair, or just washing it, the hair falling off. The moodiness, right? The fluctuations of depression, anxiety. People love to call me complicated. I hear this very often. She's complicated. If they only knew behind what was happening, I would have been better helped, right? But it wasn't. It's kind of like people point the finger and say, what's wrong with her? She's moody. She's not nice. She's this, because you're going all over the place with your hormones, right? But also the sensations of feeling cold, not being able to lose weight, not being able to gain weight because of fluctuation with that. I experienced that both. I went up in weight, and I went down in weight, and that seesaw, like up and down, up and down. I experienced that and beyond, right? The palpitations, feeling like somebody is like out of nowhere, just standing normally. I could just have my heart just to race and go, pa, 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 and feel like somebody was choking me. I blanked out several times. I don't know if that's happening to you. By the way, if these are things that you can relate to, send it, let me know. Let me know that I'm not alone here because I got it. I experienced all of that. But the good thing about all of that is that I was able to reverse all of my symptoms. Like when I think about all the symptoms that I felt, when you're inside all of that, you kind of like, yeah, I don't feel well. I feel sick, but you can't really pinpoint them so much because there's so many symptoms at the same time that all you know and all I knew at that moment was that I was sick. I was broken. I had to do something. And I've known this since I'm in my teens. I've experienced something before that, but it wasn't I knew that I had to do something somewhere in my teens. And then I didn't get to discover that I had hypothyroidism until I was 30. So it took me a lot of years to even get a diagnosis. But the beautiful thing about all of this story that I'm sharing with you is that I was able to reverse all of my symptoms and really heal my body, really be able to have that healing take place where I've been able to completely live in a different way, right? Completely live in a different way. And I know that you want that too. And I'm here to tell you that, of course, you could do it. Of course, there's a way. Of course, you could do it. You don't have to take years for this to happen, by the way. You can do this fast. And the reason I said it is because most of the women that seek my help, they're taking forever. They're taking 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. They're on this limbo for a long time. So I'm happy that you're here. Let's start this conversation because this is going to bring a lot of value to you in your journey to heal this hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's for good, for once and for good. Before I continue, before I forget, if you are interested in these conversations, make sure that you like this page and make sure that you turn on your notifications so that when I'm going live, you can they'll let you know and then you can join us or share with anybody that you're interested in. So if you're frustrated with your doctors not being able to help you, if you're frustrated and overwhelmed by the information that you're seeing online, if you are just pulling your hair or crying your heart out because you don't feel well, you are in the right spot. And this conversation that I want to share with you, Suze, my love, hugs and kisses to my productivity and happiness coach. So the topic is this. It is the number one thing that you need to do to be able to reverse your hypothyroidism and speed up your recovery, like speed up. This is what I believe, and I'm assuming that you also believe that way, and I'm assuming that you also want this. And I say I'm assuming because I've had enough conversations over 13 years with women who have this, and they all agree on this. Let's say 99% of them, so that we're not so on that draft, right? 99% of them say, Maria, I have dreams. Maria, I want to travel. I want to have a baby. I want to be able to rebuild my relationship with my husband. I want to be able to be liked by people. I want to be able to like myself better. I want to be able to go back to that woman that I used to be. I want to be able to have energy so that I can do the things that I want to do with the people that I want to be with. I want to be able to show my love to the people that I haven't been able to show because I don't feel well. Maria, I want to do that. I have no intention or I have no desire to spend my entire life Googling my life away. I don't want that because that's not what I want. I want to start a business. I want to take my business to the next level. I want all of that stuff. And in order for you, me, and any woman who has the desire to move on with their life, you got to do that. You have to be able to heal yourself fast. You have to be able to find the art, because when I think about healing hypothyroidism and Hashimoto's, to me it's an art, but it's a science. It's not one or the other. It's not just an art and it's not just a science. It is an art and a science. And because you're speaking to a human being, and a human being, it's an art. I mean, it has to flow with that. So it's super important that you understand the art and the science of that, of being able to heal that. Because if you don't, then you're not going to do it fast. You're either going to miss the art, or you're going to miss the science, or you're going to miss both of them, and you're going to get stuck. And one of the number one thing that I had to do myself, but also where I've seen amazing results happen, is when you hire a mentor. A mentor to take you there. I know. But you're Googling already and you already have enough information. We'll get to that right now. But listen, let's talk about mentorship here. If you have a mentor, you just open up yourself to a beautiful opportunity, to amazing potential that you are not even aware of, but it just opens up to that. Because mentorship, a mentor is somebody that can, first and foremost, give you clarity. And by the way, I did this myself too. I had my mentor. So although I was already a holistic physician, I already was in a functional medicine practitioner when I discovered that I had hypothyroidism, I still found a mentor. And I still put my health in that person because although I knew what I needed to do, I was biased to me, right? And I can't heal fully, transparently to where I need to if I'm biased. And I am, because if I'm treating my own person, then I'm going to be biased. Let's just put it that way. So you treating you, not a good idea, okay? So I did this, and this is what really helped accelerate us, and this is why I'm sharing this with you. Because when you put yourself with a mentor and you find that person that can mentor you, that person is able to give you clarity. Why is it clarity? Because that person is skilled in the clinical aspect of understanding your condition. Why? Because hypothyroidism is an art and a science. There's a science behind there that you need to understand, that you have to get very clear clinically what is happening to you. You have to get very clear on your story as well, what has happened to you. And the mentor can understand that for you, can be that I used to call myself the detective, hormone detective. I think I was many years back in the days. Because it's like you got to be a detective to be able to understand clarity, the root cause. But also, in order for you to, once you understand the root cause, then you have to have the roadmap. The roadmap that will get you to the next step, to ultimately your destination. And a mentor has that skills, has the experience in the clinical setting, has the experience to be able to investigate you properly, has that experience to be able to get you clear of what is the root cause. But then also the mentor has the ability to give you insight. That's a big thing. Huge. What is insight? Insight is the ability for somebody watching you to be able to give you an insight that can help you potentially shift the way that you're thinking. Why? Because let's say you have the most magnificent clarity, you understand your root cause, and you know that you have this amazing roadmap that is specialized just for you to take you to that journey where you're going to get healed. Well, let's pretend that we're here. So I live in Florida, and I'm here in Florida, and the roadmap is taking me to California. And I know, I know that in order for me to heal my hypothyroidism, I have to go from Florida all the way to California. Well, if my mind starts playing tricks on me, as they say, and all of a sudden I start taking the road and I go somewhere up northeast, and somewhere I start going Pennsylvania, New York. Well, guess what? It doesn't matter if you have the right clarity or the right roadmap and you know exactly what you need to do. If you didn't do it, it's still a problem, because you were supposed to go to California, not New York, right? So why did you go to New York? Because somewhere in there, as we get on this journey, as we get on that road, there are going to be stories that we have in our beautiful mind that is going to deviate us to where we need to go. And it's through insight that mentor and that coach and that coaching allows you to say, oh wait, I'm just deviating from the plan. I'm deviating, and bring into awareness so that you can choose to change it or not. But it brings you into the awareness of where is it that you need to adjust yourself. And if you don't have that insight, if you don't have that perspective, if you don't have that support at that moment, you're going to go wherever you're going to go. Maybe you end up in China for all that, I don't know. But the reality is that it's once you have the clarity, once you have the root cause, your roadmap, now you need constant support. Now you need that insight that's constantly telling you, got to go to California, California. That's where it is. Where are you going? But then at the same time, you're having that support. You're having that accountability. You're having that inspiration of that mentor that it's inspiring you. It's keeping you accountable, but it's also calling you on your BS. And yes, we're human beings. We have BSs. I certainly have and continue to have some. And there's mentors of mine that call me out. You have the same thing in your journey to healing hypothyroidism. In a loving way to call you on your BS is super important because it's going to allow you to shift. It's going to allow you to get to the destination that you have to go to. And so what happens is that a mentor compensates all of that. It encompasses somebody with the clinical experience. It encompasses a detective for your health. It encompasses somebody that coaches you, that keeps you accountable, that inspires you, that gives you strategies for you to get there. It is a strategic person that's really putting all of that together so that you can get to that destination. That's why it's the only way that you can get there fast. If you don't have any of that support simultaneously at the same time, you're going to stall at some point. You're going to find a rock in the middle of the road, and you're not going to know what to do. And you're going to either perhaps take a step backwards. Perhaps you're going to freak out from that big rock because you're not going to know where to go. Perhaps you are just going to say, I can't do it. Because in the journey, that's where we start finding things. And as you start finding things, your self-doubt, your stories in your mind will stop you. And when you're stopped, then you can't keep moving forward. And therefore, healing fast like this to the next step so that you can move on with your life, it's just not going to happen. And the reason I tell you this is because I have been doing this for 13 years, like I told you. So when I started this, when I started to really be in the holistic world and help women, right? Because I always knew I was going to do this based on my story, like I was telling you. And so when I started as a functional medicine practitioner. And I had my own office. And I became a consultant, right? Because functional medicine practitioners are in the category of consulting. Why? Because the way that I used to practice is somebody will come to my office. They will say they need my help in XYZ. I would understand them, investigate them, give them the clarity, give them the roadmap, and say, here, this is what you need to do. And they will leave my office and they will come back a month later, 2 weeks later, 3 months later, depending on the case. And that's what I did in the beginning of my career. And it was beautiful because we had discovered many things and it was just fascinating. Detective work is something that I love, right? But what was happening, which I didn't like, is that that person will come back to my office and I would say, how are you feeling? What's going on? And they're like, oh, because this happened and I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that. And it's like, my symptoms are slightly better. And so it happened it was happening in this and I was like, there's something missing here. Because in my opinion, you should be already amazing. You should be energized. You should be all that stuff. And so I was like, there's something missing here that this person needs. There's something that's missing that is not taking them further to where they could be. Like, what's happening? And then it's like a light bulb went on. And then I said, duh. Like, they leave my office. Like, they're all prepped in my office and we're doing amazing. They leave my office and life hits them. And when life hits you, you react to life. And then you come back and then you try to pick up the pieces of what life left you and then you try it again. And then life hits you and then you try it again. And then I was like, no, I am not doing this way anymore. And I prayed and I said, God, you're going to show me the way because that's not what I came to this field for. I came to see women thriving. I came to see them results. I came so that they can be feeling sick and then they're like moving forward like fast. And all of a sudden, somewhere in there, it's like heaven opened up and there's a light that shines just, and I was like, oh, he spoke. And I was like, yes, what I need to do for these women is I need to mentor them. I'm consulting them. That is not going to get them where they need to go. I'm going to mentor them. And I got so excited and I was like, yes. And I was like, oh, but now I got to change my entire way of practicing. So this is where that was the old way of doing things. And when I shifted that and I went into working with the women to transform their lives and really help them heal through the hypothyroid solution, what I realized was, wow, it was like jaw-dropping results like this, like literally. They did it. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. How are they doing it when I've been in years in practice and women were not getting these results? It was fascinating to see that when mentorship is done right, the results are amazing. And obviously, when that woman is open to mentorship, right? That woman is open to coaching, is open to be able to take their life to the next level. Man, oh Jesus, it is amazing. And I experienced that and I was like, yeah, this is what I want to keep doing. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Yes, this is where women can get to. But what's happening is that they're wasting time doing consulting job, meaning not that you're consulting, but that seeking consulting help. So they give you this, they tell you take this supplement, go here, go. Or you're even in, for example, in just looking for help in the Western world, in the conventional world with your general practitioner or your endocrinologist. They want to help you. They can't do it. They don't have the skill set to help a chronic disease, and they're not going to. So you're here being popped birth control pills, antidepressants. They're giving you thyroid medication. They're suggesting surgeries, and that's what they're doing. They haven't even begun the journey of healing you. Or you're going to, Google your life away and just get into self-help programs that are online that are cheap and just, I could do this. It's not going to happen. When was the last time? How many books do you have in your shelf? How many books do you have in your office? How many books do you have in your house? How many have you bought? Have you read all of them? Or when was the last time that you stopped yourself from buying a book because you knew you were not just going to read it? Well, this is what happens. Like, we put ourselves with a bunch of information, all generic because they don't know you. They're throwing it to the world. And somewhere in there, you have some data, that may help you. But the reality is that work is never going to get you to transformation and fast results. Or then you start seeking help in the natural world. Maybe it is through a naturopath. Maybe it is through a functional medicine practitioner. Maybe it is through that. But again, it's still consulting work. They're still not, I like to say, how can I do brain surgery on them? And it was like, well, I'm not a surgeon, so I can't open their skull. I can't do the surgery. So then I was like, okay, so what is the best way to do brain surgery? It's like, yeah, it's through coaching, it's through mentoring, through really supporting them. And it was like, yes. So that's what gets you the fast results. That's what. Are you girls with me? Are you girls with me? Can you? Patty, hey Patty, Diana. My dear Suze, Chelsea, nice to see you ladies. Have you guys ever been mentored? Have you already done that work so you can heal your hypothyroidism or your Hashimoto's? Have you gone there? That's a good question. Any of you ladies want to answer me that? So I saw this week, and I think this is, when I saw that video, I think it really put this mentorship into a picture, right? I saw on Facebook, I was browsing through Facebook, and I saw a video of this kid that was in a river, and there was a bar, I guess it was a wood bar, like a bamboo bar, and he was holding on to it, and he was screaming his life away. There was two people, there was like two big rocks on the side, and he was holding on to that, to that wood stick, and he was just crying. The river was flowing, but there was people around, but he was just holding on to the bar, and he was just kicking and crying. And then all of a sudden, because obviously he was afraid, right? He was afraid that he was going to drown. In his mind, the story in his mind was, I'm going to drown, I'm going to die, somebody come save me. And then all of a sudden, a woman comes behind him and kind of just lifts him up and just helps him stand. So he puts his feet so that he can touch the ground. And then the kid's like, oh, I can stand. Oh, I'm not drowning. Oh, I was just drowning. I was drowning in my mind because I wasn't drowning. All I needed to do was just stand up. And as I stood up, I had full control of my body. The kid had full control of his body, and he was able to get out. Well, mentorship is like that. Like, you are like the kid who's trying to heal hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's, who's like, I'm sick and tired of my symptoms. I'm sick and tired of Googling my life away. I'm sick and tired of having headaches, having period problems, of having exhaustion, having pains in my body, having all of that. But I don't know. I'm frustrated. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then all of a sudden, that mentor just kind of like lifts you up, and you're like, oh, I'm healed. Look at that. I thought I was drowning. And all it took is just a little shift so that you can just stand firm on the ground. And when I saw that video and I was thinking about this conversation that I was going to share with you ladies, I was like, oh my God, it's a beautiful, beautiful picture of exactly what mentorship does. It gives you that support, that stability to be able to, for you to just take yourself to the next level. And, you know, at the end of the day, what is it that you want in your life? What is it that you're after? I keep hearing the same stories. I want to be healthy. I want to be energized. I want to spend time with my family. I want to be able to play with my kids. My kids require a lot of my energy and I can't give it to them. My husband, I've left him somewhere in there because my husband, you know, I don't have time for him. I don't have energy for him. I want to rebuild my relationships. I want to be able to rebuild my marriage. I want to be able to start a business. I want to be able to go somewhere. I want to be able to be free. And you can have that, ladies. You can have that. You just need to go do it. You're not going to find the solutions fast for you to recover fast in an endocrinologist's office or in a general practitioner's office. You're not going to find it in Google. You're not going to find it in a self-help program. It's not going to have the mentorship, like I mentioned, that is required for you to do that. You're not going to find it in consulting with somebody that's consulting, somebody that's telling you, do ABC, boom, bye. I'll talk to you in 3 months. I'll talk to you in 4 months. How about 6 months? It's not going to happen. And you have to make the decision. You have to make the choice to say, do I keep doing it that way? Because if you are doing it that way and it's not working, well, you're not going to get the different results doing the same thing over and over and over. You got to shift it. You got to change it. And I'm here to tell you that mentorship speeds up your recovery. The question is, do you want to speed up your recovery? If you do, you got to find that mentor. You got to find it. And you got to just be coachable. Be coachable and take it to the next level with that mentor. So one of the things is that, you know, if that's your case, and also if you're just sick and tired of just feeling that way, and you want to work with me and you want me to help you along the way, what I want to do is just extend an invitation. Like I say, I'm tired of seeing women take years to heal. I am tired of seeing the same stories over and over. I am tired of women just feeling victimized of this hypothyroidism Hashimoto's. It doesn't have to be that way. And I know that there's women out there who want to become victors, who want to become the women that are moving forward in their life, who want to go to the next level. I can tell you from my story, and I can tell you from the women that come to me, we're very smart women. But because we're smart, we can get by functioning at 25-50%. Why? Because we can figure things out. Because we're smart. However, working at 25% of your potential and 50% of your potential, is that good enough for you? Because I had to ask myself that question when I went through my process of healing. And I was done playing at 25%. Because I did 25%. I wish I could tell you I was functioning at 50% of my potential. I was at 25. And I know that there's women out there, and perhaps it's you that I'm talking to. If you want to go to 100% of your potential, you can do it. So, you know, through this conversation, through the invitation that we're going to do, if you want to, just schedule yourself and book yourself in my calendar. It's complimentary. Let's have a conversation. Let's get clear what is it that you want. Let's try to understand what's holding you back. Let me give you the step-by-step stuff that you're going to need to do so that you can get that healing. I'm more than happy to do that. The only thing is that you must be committed and you must be coachable. If you happen to feel that you are that person, get on my calendar and let's have a conversation, because at the end of the day, it is possible. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put the link here. If you're interested in having that conversation and you want my help, I'm more than happy, my love. If it's not, go find that person, ladies. Go find it. Let's become empowered women. Let's become women that are capable of loving ourselves, of loving our neighbor, of loving people for who they are, being able to work at our highest potential, being able to do the things that we were called to do the things that we know we can do and that we want to do. Stop functioning at 25% of your potential. Stop it. You could do this. It only takes your choice to do it. So I hope you enjoyed this conversation. I hope you found this topic valuable. to me, it was a game changer. To me, it was a life-saving. It saved my life. And I hope it also did that for you. Okay, so I will be back next week or whenever that is. I don't know. Make sure you like the page and also click on the notifications so that you can get reminded of when I'm going live and continue these conversations. Patty, Chelsea, Diana, Suze, it was a pleasure having you and being here for you. Bye.